Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Know the Game here. This is episode number 3. Joined here with Gavin.
What's up, everybody?
And, before we get into it, just want to say thank you guys so much for the support on episode number 2. We're continuing to grow here, and we really appreciate your guys' support tremendously. In today's episode of Know the Game, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. The Suns are currently up a commanding. I don't even know what the right word would be. They're up 2 games to none on the Bucks. We'll go over that. The Bucks look dead inside. We'll also be going over Dario Saric injury in that Sun series, as well as some NBA rumors, trade rumors, draft rumors, free agent rumors. NBA offseason's upon us. So we'll go over some of those rumors. We'll also go over the MLB All-Star Game replacements. A lot of players are opting out of the All-Star Game, not wanting to play. So there's got to be new guys to fill those spots. We'll also go over the home run derby matchups. The bracket is set. All 8 guys, I believe, are ready on Monday night. We'll also go over a standings recap of the first half of the season, as well as some very high scores from the past few days in MLB. And then we'll do the Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, number 3, UFC 264 is on Saturday night. So we'll go over that. We'll give who we think's going to win the fight. And then finally, we'll end it off with some more NFL mini games, since there's nothing really to talk about in this current state of the NFL offseason. We'll give our top 10 NFL wide receivers, as well as our top 10 cornerbacks. So, with that out of the way, Gavin, let's get straight into this.
First of all, I just want to take the moment to say thank you to Connor and I's aunt and grandma, Aunt Claire and Grandma Ellen, for giving us tickets and taking us to the Padres and Dodgers game a while ago. So thank you guys very much. But anyways, yeah, the Suns, taking a whatever you want to say, commanding big lead against the Milwaukee Bucks 2-0. They won by 10 points, 118 to 108. The Bucks, they were they were doing really good this playoff run, and then I guess they're all falling apart in the finals, man. Um, I mean, Giannis is not really. He's put up a nice 42, a casual 42 for Giannis,
Oh,
but other players. Drew Holiday is the next highest scorer with 17 points. I mean, 17 points is a lot of points, don't get me wrong, but that's in a finals game when your second best player is getting 17 points. That is not acceptable at all.
nah, man. Giannis, Giannis has been playing like an MVP. This is the kind of performance you want from a 2-time MVP in the finals. So you cannot say anything negative about Giannis at all. It seriously, it all comes down to the other guys, and the others for the Bucks have done absolutely like nothing. 17 points. I would take 17 points in a game at the park down the street. But in the NBA Finals, when you're the second, third best player on your team, 17 points isn't really acceptable. Chris Middleton, he was 5 for 16, 1 for 6 from 3 in game 2, only ended with 11 points. That is unacceptable. And then Pat Connaughton, excuse the ding if you just heard that. Pat Connaughton playing 34 minutes and giving you 14 points. I mean, overall, man, the Bucks are just like, they're not helping out Giannis. And there's a picture of Giannis screaming at his guys, like,
Video.
do something, man, do something. I can't do it all. And he can do it all, and he needs help. Guys need to step up.
Yeah, hopefully, next game, Brooke Lopez can come back and score a nice 32 like last time, but no, he only put up 8 points. But we're going to move on to the Suns right now. Um, Devin Booker, really good these playoffs, 31 points. Chris Paul, also really good, 23 points. Oh, and Mikal Bridges putting up 27 points. So
Dude,
that right there is crazy right there. Mikal Bridges putting up 27 points.
when you look at the Suns box score, that's the kind of game that the Bucks need to have. They got 3 guys above 20 points. Devin Booker had 31, like you said. I mean, and then you have like Jake Crowder with 11 and Ayton with 10 and 11 boards. The bench didn't do much, but I mean, the bench doesn't have to do much when you got 3 guys and 20 plus points. Chris Paul's been amazing, dude. Like, I'm so happy to see him in his first ever finals. One
Yeah,
of my favorite players, one of the greatest point guards of all time, really. Finally showing out in the playoffs. Devin Booker. I mean, Devin Booker is a young superstar. I know a few years ago people were saying he's just a guy who puts up 25 points on a bad team. But I mean, that's not the case anymore. He puts up 25 points on a finals team. So I'm loving what the Suns are doing right now.
bro, who is it? But something that the Suns are not happy with, Dario Saric tearing his ACL. Um, you know, I don't really see him play this much. He played when they were up a lot, but Dario Saric, he could have been another bench player to get in like Torrey Craig or not Torrey Craig, yeah, Torrey Craig and Cameron Johnson, Cameron Payne. He could have been in there with them, but he's going to be out for the rest of this series, rest of the season with a torn ACL.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say he's not an impactful player because he gets minutes for them and he can be a solid stretch four, he can provide spacing and some shooting. But it's just another loss to their depth. But they're up 2-0, so I don't think it'll hurt them tremendously. Well, I mean, I guess we'll find out in the rest of the series.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. I had no clue Darius Saric was even on the Suns to start the season, or I didn't even know he was on the Suns in general. But we're gonna be moving on to the USA. They released their new jersey. The USA basketball team, they released their new jerseys, and let me tell you, they look so nice. They look
Seriously.
so crazy nice, bro. It's ridiculous how nice they look.
Dude, I freaking oh my, there's not enough nice things to say about them, bro. Like seriously, the way like the gradient blue and it's like striped like water, bro. I mean, the past USA jerseys, from what I remember, just like a plain dark blue jersey. It's like,
Yeah, they just say USA on it.
yeah, it's just like, oh, that's cool, bro. This is freaking next level jersey stuff. So I mean, bro, great.
Um, I can't wait to see how they look in the game because that's gonna look amazing, really. But next up on the list, we have some NBA rumors, trade rumors, really just trade rumors. Um, the Spurs looking at the trade up from number 12. Some people are saying DeJounte Murray and Derek White, 2 guards for the Spurs, could help them move up from number 12. Honestly, I don't really see that happening. Maybe I can see Derek White happening. I don't see DeJounte Murray happening.
Uh,
That is a key young guard for them. Even maybe Derek White's a young guard, but I don't know. Maybe yes or no for both of them. But what do you gotta say about the rumor right there?
I I I think they got to keep Dejounte Murray. I mean, he's one of the best one-on-one defenders in the game of basketball. He's on like an $11 million contract, so he's on a very team-friendly deal. And he's a young guard that can be a part of the future of the Spurs. Derek White, he's like 26 or 27. I would definitely part ways with him in the 12th pick if you can get up to like wherever 7, 6, 8 maybe. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't trade DeJounte Murray, but I definitely like the idea of the Spurs trading up and getting a guy because they're such a middle team right now. They're not playoff bound, like they can be an 8th seed, but they're definitely not one of the worst teams in the league. So I think they got to go up and get a young guy to help progress them to come back to the promised land, being one of the best teams in the league.
Another rumor: the New Orleans Saints are expected to trade the 10th pick in the
You mean
draft.
you mean Pelicans, right?
Yep, I don't know what Pelicans. I don't know what it says, but the New Orleans Pelicans are excited to trade the 10th pick in the draft for some veteran help, which they do really need. They have a lot of young guys on their team like Zion, Lonzo, and Ingram. If they can keep Lonzo, but I could see maybe possibly seeing that happen, but veteran help is really it's a key thing in the game of basketball. So yeah, they could do that.
The Pelicans roster is really interesting to me. Like it doesn't really like fit together. They got like Steven Adams, which was really weird. I don't know why they really tried to acquire him. Eric Bledsoe, Lonzo might leave in free agency. He's restricted. Brandon Ingram and then Zion, of course. Obviously, you want to build around Zion. He's like the number one pick, one of the greatest young players in the league.
Possibly even Brandon Ingram too.
Yeah, you could build around those two guys if you think that they can actually like start to fit together and form a connection on the court. But trading for veterans, every team needs to do. Every team needs a mix of really young guys with high talent and veterans, whether they're good veterans or just locker room guys. Um, but I mean, they need to choose the right veterans. If I'm them at 10, you're not trading for another guy like Eric Bledsoe. You're trading for a guy like I'm not saying CJ McCollum fits the team, but you're trading for a guy like that, a veteran who's good, who's going to give you quality minutes.
So pretty much everything going around the world of basketball. I mean, once we get to the finals, there's not really a lot to talk about other than the finals itself.
Yeah.
But it is coming up to be off. It's off season time. So there's gonna be a lot of rumors. But moving on to the MLB, a lot of guys on the MLB All Star team opted out. Either they didn't want to play or they were injured. Um, so I have the list of players that opted out and the players that are now replacing them. And a lot of these players are very well much deserved to be replaced. But so the NL players that are being replaced are Kevin Gosman, Brandon Woodruff, Jacob DeGrom, Yu Darvish, Buster Posey, and Mookie Betts. So what do you got to say about those guys in the NL not wanting to play or being injured?
I mean, the injuries, nothing really can happen, but like the guys that don't want to play, DeGrom, he probably wouldn't have been able to pitch anyways because he just threw a few days ago, or he's throwing this weekend. Um, he said he wants to spend time with his family and just rest. That's understandable. It's always good to step away and take time with the fam. Um, Kevin Gosman, that's an interesting one. Mookie Betts also. I was surprised to hear Mookie Betts as an all-star. I'm not gonna lie.
So
He's a great player, one of the best players in the game. But this season in particular, he's having a down season. It's interesting to see him step away and not want to participate in this. And then of course Brandon Woodruff too, one of the best pitchers this season.
talking about Mookie Betts, he had a really slow start at the start of the season, but recently he has actually been picking it up. But I mean, maybe he was like, man, I don't really deserve this All Star selection, so I'm just gonna not play. But I don't know. But the AL All Stars, only four of them, all Astros. Kind of funny. Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, Michael Brantley, and Ryan Presley. I don't know if they're like not allowed to participate or they just like were like, bro, we cheated, we don't deserve to be here.
Well, I know that Correa is apparently on the injured list for like COVID protocols, which is crazy because it's been like a long time. Like, how do you still? Anyway, um, it's interesting to see these guys opt out. They did cheat a lot of times in 2017, 2018, maybe even 2019. But statistically wise, this season they're deserving of being all stars. But yeah, man, I don't have much to say about those guys opting out.
But the dudes that are replacing them, uh, in the NL, we have Yadier Molina, Walker Bueller, Max Scherzer, Justin Turner, Taijuan Walker, and Freddie Peralta. AL, we have Tim Anderson, Whit Merrifield, and Chris Bassett. So,
Also, Joey Wendell.
oh yeah, Joey Wendell. Yeah, I forgot to say him. But those guys right there are very well deserved, especially Walker Buehler. I understand that because I'm a Dodger fan. Yeah, maybe especially Yadier Molina too. He's been pretty good this season for the Cardinals. So they Taijuan Walker, rookie pitcher for the
Not a
Mets. No,
rookie for the Mets, I guess. I don't know. He's not a rookie. First year pitcher for the Mets.
same thing.
Okay.
But whatever.
I like these replacements though. The only one I'm questionable on is Joey Wendell. I'm looking at his statistics right now, and they don't really scream all-star. They just kind of seem average numbers. Um, but I like the Taiwan Walker one. He's on my fantasy baseball team. Dude's tearing it up. Also, Max Scherzer. You know that he just gave up a grand slam to a rookie relief pitcher the other day. But besides that, he's definitely an all-star. Yachty, like you said, he's like 38, I think, 39 maybe, playing amazing. It's like all the youth and life came back to him. Tim Anderson, one of the most underrated shortstops in the game of baseball.
Electric players in the game of baseball.
Justin Turner, I like seeing that. Whit Merrifield too. I think he leads the league in stolen bases, and he also plays every single position. And Freddie Peralta too. So that's four Brewers pitchers in the All-Star game. Three of them are starters. So crazy stuff.
We'll keep it on the All-Star weekend type thing. The home run derby bracket is set, and we're gonna possibly give our predictions right now, and we're gonna go over the bracket. So, number 1 seed, no surprise there, is Shohei Ohtani playing against the number 8 seed Juan Soto, and then number 2 seed Joey Gallo playing against 7 seed Trevor Story. 3 seed Matt Olson playing against 6 seed Trey Mancini. 4 seed Salvador Perez playing against 5 seed and the reigning champion Pete Alonso. So, Connor, who do you have winning these first rounds?
Well, in the 1-8 matchup, Ohtani versus Soto, I do got to say, Juan Soto is going to be a tough challenge for Shohei. I think he's participated in a home run derby in the past, but if not, he definitely could what's it called? Upset Shohei Ohtani, but I got Ohtani in the first one. Then the next one is it's Gallo versus Salvador Perez, right?
Gallo versus Story.
Story. I'm gonna take Joey Gallo. Dude has light tower power, as I think Matty would say.
Yeah. A lot of people are actually picking Juan Soto over Shohei Ohtani, which is pretty weird to me. I mean, really, it's the higher seed you are, the better chance you get to winning because you know what number you have to be.
Mm-hmm.
And Shohei Ohtani he's not even done yet hitting home runs before the All-Star break. But how many home runs did he have? Like 30 something before the All-Star break?
33.
33. That's like how many that's
Counting.
how many, yeah, and counting. That's how many people have at the end of the season. And
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani having that much before the All-Star break just shows how much power he has. But no surprise here, I got Shohei Ohtani taking the first round. Juan Soto taking the first round exit by Shohei Ohtani. Actually, I have Trevor Story going over Joey Gallo because Trevor Story playing in his own ballpark in Coors Field. Joey Gallo, light tower power. Really has a lot of power. Really, Trevor Story, but I think Trevor Story could pull this off because he knows where to hit the ball, where he's just in his own ballpark. So who do you have over Salvi Perez and Pete Alonso?
I mean, a lot of people, Salvador Perez is at the bottom of the list in order of like betting odds to win it. But I'm gonna take Matt Olson. Wait, that's the guy, right? Pete Alonso. Bro, I already forgot what you said. I'm gonna take Pete Alonso, reigning champion in his rookie season. He had 53 dingers. Dude's one of the best home run power hitters in the game of baseball. And, he's won it in the past. He's a reigning champion. I know it's been a few years since we've had the home run derby, but I think he's here to defend his crown. First round victory is definitely his.
Yeah, same with me right here. P. Alonso is the lower seed in this one. But he has so much pop in his bat. It's unbelievable. But I do have P. Alonso taking the first round victory over Salvador Perez. Now, Matt Olson versus Trey Mancini.
I'm going to go with Matt Olson. Mancini, what a great story. He's also a great player, not just a great story. But Matt Olson is having he's an all-star. He's having a phenomenal season. He's actually hitting more. He used to just hit home runs in the past. Now he's actually hitting the ball too, so his batting average is high. But in terms of home run derby, lefty power bat in Colorado, I'm liking Matt Olson.
Yeah, Colorado is a lefty favor field, but I also have Matt Olson playing against Trey Mancini. Like you said, I love the story. Honestly, I was a bit surprised seeing him in the home run derby because there was a lot of players that you could have put over him, but I think it is very well deserved for Trey Mancini coming back from what he had in the past, but I do have Matt Olson. So for you, it would be Shohei versus P. Alonso and Joey Gallo versus Matt Olson. So who do you have taken in those two battles?
I'm going to take the two-way Japanese import, Shohei Ohtani against Pete Alonso. And then between Gallo and Olson, the battle of the lefty power bats. I think this one can go either way, in my opinion. I'm going to take Matt Olson, though. Just going with my gut. I don't really have any thing to say besides that, man.
I need to sneeze, but I totally didn't sneeze. So
You basically just took off your headset to dab.
basically,
Yeah.
for me, it's gonna be Shohei Ohtani versus P. Alonso, and then Trevor Story versus Matt Olson. Um, Coors Field's a lefty favorite. So I have Shohei Ohtani beating Matt Olson, making it to the finals, and Matt Olson beating uh, Trevor Story to make it to the finals. So it's going to be Trevor Story or Matt Olson and Shohei Ohtani in the finals for me, and it's going to
And
be
also for
Shohei. Oh yeah, for you too.
Villavosas, yeah.
So honestly, I I don't know who will win this battle. I mean, it's going to be a very hard fought battle.
Yeah.
But in the end, I would take Shohei Ohtani because he's the one seed. Like I said earlier, the higher seed you are, the better chance you have of winning because the lower seed always bats first, so you know how many home runs you're gonna have to hit to win.
Yeah. I mean, I would love. I mean, all his guys really have the potential of winning the home run derby. Matt Olson can definitely steal it from Shohei, but I'm gonna take pitcher Shohei Ohtani to win the home run derby. His 33rd home run, which he hit on Friday, went upper deck in Seattle. So just imagine him hitting in the home run derby in Colorado. Balls are gonna be out of the stadium on Monday night, so I got him winning.
Yeah, man, I do wish I could have gone to that game, but tickets are so expensive. But yeah, we're gonna be moving on to big scores. Yesterday, a lot of teams, or three teams, destroyed the teams that they played yesterday. Um, the New York Mets destroyed the Pirates 13-4. And then the Chicago White Sox destroyed the Orioles 12-1. And the Red Sox destroyed the Phillies 11-5. So those three games right there were crazy how much these three teams scored. So that's a combined 36 points just from those three teams alone.
That's crazy. It's crazy to see scores like that sometimes in baseball, especially when it's They only scored 1 run. When you score 1 run and the other team scores 12, I've played in baseball games where like you just absolutely get wrecked and it's miserable and it's long. So, I mean, I can only imagine what it's like to be the Baltimore Orioles right now. I would like retire, probably quit.
pretty much. On the Giants. The Giants have rocked their new Nike City Connect jerseys, and they rocked them yesterday for the first time. I'm not really liking the choice of the design and the colors, fading away to white. But what do you have to say about the new jersey for the Giants?
They are definitely they're the one that has changed every time I look at them, I get a new opinion on them. The first time I was like, nah, bro, these ain't it. And then I look at them again, it's like, okay, kind of fire. They're just weird. Like it's just weird. It's all white jersey. For the Giants, all white looks super weird. They usually wear the cream colored ones. I just wish on their uniform instead of like a G on the chest, it just said the SF. I think that'd look nice. Um, I don't know, man. These are definitely the most mid-tier City Connect jerseys. We'd probably have to rank them. So maybe when the Dodgers ones come out in August, we can do an entire ranking. But I mean, the Giants ones are just weird.
Yeah, honestly, like you said, they don't really look good in white because the cream and the black and the orange even look really good on them.
Yeah.
I honestly, they could have like made an orange jersey or something like that. I don't know. Could have been different. I'm really not a fan of the colors, the green or the orange, and then going down to the white. I mean, it doesn't look good, especially on a white on white jersey like that.
Yeah.
That's that's a no for me. But a rising star, a future, like he's a really good prospect right now, a really young star. Jason Dominguez is playing in the future games. Um, has he? I don't really know anything about him because has he even like played in professional games yet?
I think he's played his first professional games this year.
Yeah, because he was too young. I'm pretty sure he was too young to play
Yeah.
because he was what like 17, 16, 17 when
16,
he
17, yeah.
entered the league with the Yankees. But I do believe in like years to come, like 2 3 years to come, he will be a pretty good player for the Yankees or some other team. But he'll be a future star. I'm gonna tell you that.
He's interesting, man, because he's been a prospect for like a long time, since he's like 16 years old. Now he's eligible. He's actually playing in like real games. They call him the Martian. He's a switch hitter outfielder who's huge. There's not much to say about this guy yet, except just what everybody else says, and this guy's gonna be really good. He all of this stuff could be true. He could be one of the next great players in the game of baseball, or he could just be another overhyped prospect. I'm not going to lean either side yet because you kind of just got to wait and feel it out, see how he plays this year, next year in the minors, and then go from there. But playing in the futures game, all eyes are going to be on you as one of the young guys in the league, so that's going to be a nice place to see his potential.
Yeah, man. You know, it's gonna be really fun to watch him play in these future games. Especially and it's gonna be really fun to see all the other players in these future games too.
Oh yeah.
We talked about the NBA, we talked about the MLB. Now we're moving on to the
Oh,
oh
I want to do a first half standings recap for the MLB. Um, I'm just gonna go over, I guess, like the top teams and then the wild card races because it's the first half of the season. It's over pretty much. So in the American League East, we have the Boston Red Sox. They're in first place right now, 2 games up. In the AL Central, Chicago White Sox are 7.5 games in first place. And then in the American League West, we have the Houston Astros who are up 4.5 games. Out in the National League East, we got the New York Mets 4.5 games up on the Braves for first place. The Milwaukee Brewers are in first place, up 6 games on the Reds. And then out west, the most competitive division in baseball, the NL West, The Giants are up 2 games on the Dodgers. And then the wild card races, the 2 wild card teams in the AL right now, you got the Tampa Bay Rays and the Oakland A's with the Mariners and Yankees trailing slowly behind. And then in the NL, you got the 2 California teams. You got the Dodgers and the Padres with the Reds 5.5 back. So that's the first half recap. We'll see. I'm interested to see what happens in the second half of the season with these races.
Like you said, the Brewers having a comfortable 6-game lead.
Yeah.
A 6-game lead is a lot of games to be
Seriously.
ahead of in baseball.
Yeah.
Like that means the second place team has to win 6 games, and you have to lose 6 in a row.
Yeah.
That most likely is not going to happen. So that something, who's the second place in that division?
The Reds.
The Reds. They're going to need to pick it up if they want to make it
I
to
think,
playoffs.
when you look at that, I think the Brewers kind of locked that division, man. Unless they go horrible next half, and like the Reds or maybe the Cubs do good again. But that's a comfortable lead to have.
Yeah, pretty much. So we talked about the NBA, we talked about the MLB. Now we're gonna move on to the NFL. Not much to talk about except for one thing, and then we're gonna do some top 10 receivers and top 10 cornerbacks. But first and foremost, Allen Robinson, um, who was franchise tagged this offseason, uh, he has like no talks. He had no like talks about his contract with the Bears, but he is unlikely to be extended this season.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about a top 10 receiver not being extended to a team that really needs him.
Yeah. That is surprising, man. Like the Bears, they need him because their quarterback situation's been iffy. I know they drafted Justin Fields last year, but you
Well,
kind of
like
need
this last draft, not really
well,
last year.
not last year, this last draft. Excuse me with that. But you need a guy like Allen Robinson. He's the top 10 receiver in the NFL. He's one of the best receivers. Even with Mitchell Trubisky as your quarterback, he's been amazing. So they need to extend him if they want to remain like a competent team for the next few years.
Yeah, that's that. Saying that you're not going to re-sign for him long term is one of the worst decisions this coming off season. Like if you're not going to re-sign him, that's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Especially if he signs with let's say the Chiefs. Come to the Chiefs, that's going to be crazy. That's a Tyreek Hill and like Allen Robinson type receiving core.
That would be something else.
So now we're going to go to top 10 receivers. Wow, when we were just talking about a top 10 receiver. So I'll let you lead it off right now with the number 10 spot.
All right. I just want to say, this is definitely the hardest positional list we've made. There's so many great wide receivers in the league. You know, guys I have 11, 12, maybe even 13. You could put at 10. But at number 10 for me, I have DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks. Second round pick a few years ago, one of the biggest receivers in the league. He had a highlight play last year where he chased down Buda Baker after an interception. He's my number 10.
Yeah, he also proceeded to do track or whatever and got burnt. But my number 10, this is when healthy. I actually have Keenan Allen of the Los Angeles Chargers. Keenan Allen is one of the best receivers in all of football when healthy.
True.
But I'm moving him to number 10 because of the frequent injuries he's had. So that kind of holds him back.
Yeah. He barely just missed my list. I would have put him on, but the injuries and stuff. But he's talent wise really good. Number 9, I have a member of the Tennessee Titans. I actually have AJ Brown, a really young wide receiver. He's been the number 1 wide receiver on the Titans in the past, but now with Julio Jones, he's moved to number 2, creating probably the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. He's got a lot of potential. He showed out last year, 1,000 yards receiving, and yeah, man, that's my number 9.
My number 9 was a rookie last year for the Minnesota Vikings, Justin Jefferson. He had 1,400 yards for a rookie receiver. That right there shows you that he is one of the best rookies to ever come into the game as a receiver.
And my number 8 is the guy you just said, Justin Jefferson. Didn't he break the rookie receiving record? Receiving yards record?
I'm pretty sure he either tied it or just came just short.
Yeah, I know he was either close, tied it, maybe he broke it. I don't know. But he was the talk of the town last year when it came to wide receivers. Last year's wide receiver class, draft class wise, was one of the best coming into the league. And it might be one of the best ever. A lot of talent. People were saying, who's the best? Ruggs, Judy, Lamb. Justin Jefferson fell all the way to the Vikings late in the first round. Snag. And he's a top 10 receiver. He's my number 8 receiver in the game of football.
My number 8 is a receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, Amari Cooper. He's put up 1,000 yards every single year. I'm pretty sure he's been in the NFL. He's pretty underrated, and he's also overhated. A lot of people on the Cowboys are overhated just because they're on the Cowboys. But yeah, my number 8 is Amari Cooper.
My number 7, we just talked about him, Allen Robinson of the Bears. Over the past 2-3 seasons, I mean, I guess even his entire career, he's been an amazing wide receiver with some of the worst quarterbacks in the game of football. Mitchell Trubisky, he's had Nick Foles, he's had he's gonna have Andy Dalton this year and possibly Justin Fields. And he's just racked up yards, and he's just been a tremendous receiver with some of the worst quarterback talent.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Justin Fields or even Andy Dalton, if he plays good, they can help the Bears win for so much because they have a really good defense, and they just need that offense to be working.
They have so much talent.
Yeah. And my number 7, when he's healthy, he is a beast on that phenomenal receiving core, one of the best in the league. I have Mike Evans. He is so good when he is healthy. He's a beast. He was a beast coming out of I think it was Texas A&M or something like that for sure.
Yeah.
He was so good, especially this last year, with Tom Brady as a quarterback. They said earlier that he I'm pretty sure it's off camera that he pretty much gets injured every single game or something.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's healthy, he's a beast out there on the field.
Yeah, I mean, last season, I obviously watched a lot of Buccaneers games because Tom Brady was on, so they broadcast the games. But it just seemed, and I think he was on my fantasy team. But it seems like every week he'd just score a touchdown and then injure his ankle and then either be out or come back in the game. But when you said when he's healthy, he's really good. My number 6, we have the league leader in yards last season of the Buffalo Bills. I got Stephon Diggs. He got traded from the Vikings to the Bills and became Josh Allen's favorite and number 1 target. There's an iconic picture of him staring at the Chiefs celebrating their AFC victory in the playoffs.
He copied somebody in high school.
But he's been a great receiver. I'm gonna love to see the connection and the growth with him and Josh Allen. And he's really improved. And a lot of people are saying, I don't know if Stephon Diggs can really be a number 1 receiver. I know that was kind of the talk during the Vikings trade, but he's really showed out last season.
My number 6, we talked about him, is Allen Robinson of the Chicago Bears. He was a beast last year. He was so crazy with the Jaguars and even more crazy with the Bears. Hopefully he does get that extension because I would really like to see that connection with Justin Fields and Allen Robinson for years to come.
Yeah. My number 5, I got Slant Boy, Michael Thomas. He was injured pretty much the entire season last year. Didn't play many games. When he played, he wasn't efficient. Last year was definitely a down year, but in years past, he's been amazing. And you can say all you want. Oh, he just runs slants. He just does this and does that. But I mean, even if he just does that, he's a great receiver. He gets yards. He gets TDs. He gets other guys open on the field. And that's my number 5.
Well, I mean, like you say you run slants. Slants are actually really hard to run, especially on man coverage, because you have to get away from that corner that is right on you. You have to get the first quick step off the line. But my number 5 is one of the fastest, if not the fastest, receiver or players in all of football. That is Tyreek Hill of the Kansas City Chiefs. He is really fast, and I tell you, really fast. He's really fast.
Yeah.
Um, he did this crazy catch last year where like they didn't call it a catch because it looked like it was incomplete by like 50 miles, and Tyreek Hill didn't even know it was a completion. And everybody saw the replay after the play was well over and like, wow, that was crazy. And the year before that, he caught a ball like to end halftime, in the first half, over like 2 defenders. And it was crazy to watch. He's a very, very terrific person to watch. Even in the Super Bowl, he was crazy to watch. He's just super fast.
Oh yeah. My number 4, he was traded this offseason to the Tennessee Titans. I have Julio Jones. Um, his entire career, he's been a top 2 receiver in football, a number 1 receiver in football. I know last season he missed, I think it was 9 games, or only played 9 games or something like that. He missed times last year with some injuries, but even when he was healthy and on the field last year, he was an efficient, one of the top receivers in the game of football. And now he gets traded to the Titans, where he has another wide receiver on the other side, A.J. Brown. He's got Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry on that team. So not only do the Titans have a lot of weapons, but Julio Jones is going to get his, and he's going to prove the haters wrong that he's one of the best receivers in the league.
That's pretty funny because my number 4 is also Julio Jones. Like you said, you got traded this offseason. He's going to be wearing number 2. Um,
Oh.
he should have, took the offer from AJ Brown to keep number 11. But I would have him as number 3 actually, but he was injured last year, and this number 3 guy was super like a beast last year. So that's why I have Julio Jones at number 4.
My number 3, we got top 1, 2 fastest player in the league, Tyreek Hill. Patrick Mahomes, number 1. Well,
One,
number
1 to 2.
1 to 2 receiving target. Travis Kelce is up there for sure. He's had 3 1,000-yard seasons. He had 15 touchdowns last year
That's a
for
lot.
Kansas City. That's a lot for a receiver in a single season. And he's super fast. There will be times where another receiver will get a ball, run for a touchdown, and Tyreek Hill will be trailing right behind and running full speed and tap him on the back. And then I think you mentioned the play last season or a few years ago, where like he caught a ball and nobody knew it was a catch, but like on the replay he caught it and they didn't review it. So he's an amazing receiver, really fast, and gets the job done, man.
My number 3, he led the league in yards, receptions, and touchdowns last year. Uh, Stephon Diggs. You only said yards because I don't think you knew about the other 2.
I didn't really look at the other ones because I trying
Yeah,
to
but
yeah.
he led in receptions, yards, and touchdowns.
Wowzers.
If you do that as a receiver, you possibly get MVP votes, maybe. But yeah, Stephon Diggs is one of the best receivers last year, and that's why he's number 3 on my list.
Number 2 on my list, I got oh shoot, what's his nickname? Nuke. I got D Hop from the Arizona Cardinals. Got traded from the Texans to the Cardinals, and he's shined with Kyler Murray and the Cliff Kingsbury's offense. Going up there, grabbed the Hail Mary pass to end the game against the Bills last season, to win the game. That was amazing. And overall, just talent wise, goes up, gets the ball, and second best receiver in football in my mind.
You said it right there. Now, my number 2 is also DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins he was so good with the Texans. Even I want to say even better with the Cardinals, but he was really good with the Cardinals this last year.
At the same level,
Yeah, same level. He caught a Hail Mary to win the game over 3 people.
Yeah.
Over 3 people. That right there tells you why he's one of the best receivers. And only reason why I have him at number 2 is because this next guy, in my opinion, is better. But DeAndre Hopkins is just so good.
Yeah. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins before last season, was debatable as the best wide receiver in football. I think some lists had him as number 1, and he's definitely you can make the argument for him to be number 1. You can make the argument for, I guess the top 3 or 4 guys on our list to be number 1 receivers in the league. But overall, number 1 receiver, I think it's clear for both of us, but for me at least, it's Devontae Adams. This man last season absolutely balled out. Each week he just got better and better and better and more difficult to match up against. MVP Rogers' number 1 target last season. This man had 1,000 yards, and he's looking to do it again, even though he may not be a Packer for much longer.
Yeah, you said it right there. My number 1 is also Devontae Adams, but he's not really happy with Aaron Rodgers right now. Nobody really is on the Packers. But Devontae Adams is a beast, especially coming off the line. His footwork is so amazing if you watch that. He beat Jalen Ramsey a couple times in the playoffs. That's like saying, "Oh, bro, I'm number 1 receiver and I beat arguably the best corner in the league."
Yeah.
So that right there, beating Jalen Ramsey off the line, that's crazy.
Yeah, beating one of the best corners, like you said, in the game makes you one of the best receivers in the game. And speaking of corners, let's get on to our second, I guess, mini game of today's episode, our top 10 corners in the NFL. So I'll let you start this one off since I started off the receivers. Who's your number 10?
My number 10, really good for the New York Giants. I have James Bradbury. He is really, really good. Yeah, there's not much really to say about that. I mean, a lot of these guys aren't gonna make the list if they're not really, really good though. But my number 10 is James Bradbury.
My number 10, he plays for Miami Dolphins, but he, I guess, is their number 2 corner. I got Byron Jones. He used to play for the Cowboys, went over to the Dolphins. I believe it was last season, was his first season with the Dolphins. Only 2 interceptions, but coverage-wise, he's amazing at covering guys. He's my number 10.
My number 9 is a corner for the Baltimore Ravens. Really jumps around the league, sort of. Is Marcus Peters. Um, he's really good as a corner. He used to be in the Rams, the Chiefs. Now he's on the Baltimore Ravens. He's helped them a lot in ways of coverage and man. So yeah, that there's Marcus Peters is my number 9.
My number 9, I got your number 10. I got James Bradbury of the Giants last season with 3 picks. I wouldn't say corners don't get a lot of interceptions. They don't always get 15, 20, but he's a great corner on that Giants defense, which is a young upcoming defense. Come over from Carolina, so he's my number 9.
My number 8 is this lockdown offender coming into the league, Marshawn Lattimore. Super good with the Saints coming into the league. Pretty sure he's injured last year. He was, like I said, coming into the league, he was one of the best lockdown receivers, best man receivers in all of NFL. So Marshawn Lattimore is my number 8.
My number 8 is a former 4th overall pick, I believe, of the Cleveland Browns. I got Denzel Ward. This man, his rookie season was absolutely amazing. I know at the time of the pick, people were questioning, like, oh, they might have picked him too early. They picked the wrong guy. But, his first season, he balled out. And then last season, in 2019 he had another great season, and then 2020, man is
Better.
just even better. He just keeps getting better, and he's proven why he's a top 10 corner.
You know, my number 7 is pretty funny. Denzel Ward. Like you said, a lot of people are questioning him picking a corner number 4. You don't
Yeah.
really see that a lot. And I'm pretty sure that was the same draft they drafted Baker Mayfield number 1.
Hmm.
And that people were like, wow, the Browns really just fumbled the bag right here with these 2 picks in the top 5. But Baker Mayfield and Denzel Ward are proving themselves, like proving the haters wrong, basically.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people just want to hate on the Browns and what they've done, but what they've done recently has been amazing. My number 7, I got Marshawn Lattimore of the Saints last season. He had a little down year, I guess, statistically. Um, but I mean, in his past and his entire career, he's been a amazing receiver. He's a big physical guy, you know, does his work, gets his own, and that's why I have him on number 7, man.
Dude, our number 8 and 7 are swapped.
Bro.
My number 6 is another corner for the Baltimore Ravens. I have Marlon Humphrey. Pretty good zone right there. Pretty good man. He's a really good slot corner. Um, I mean, I don't really have much to say about Marlon Humphrey. He's a really, really good slot. Top 3 slot, I'd say, in the league. And that's Marlon Humphrey of the Baltimore Ravens, not Saints.
My number 6, I actually got Tre'Davious White of the Buffalo Bills. This guy has last season he played tremendously. He had 3 picks, played 14 games. Part of that Bills defense, which is really starting to progress. Amazing secondary in Buffalo, and he's the leader of that secondary. But individually wise, he's an amazing corner. I almost said receiver, amazing corner. Tried to stop some guys on the Chiefs last year. Tried to match up against Tyreek Hill. Pretty hard to do that, but besides that, he's amazing.
My number 5 is a man who has been really good for these past years. But he's wants a lot of money, and that is Stephon Gilmore of the New England Patriots. He got for sure traded to the Patriots a couple years ago by the Buffalo Bills. Um, but he's a top corner in the league. He wants a lot of money, or he doesn't want out of New England. He just wants a lot of money.
He's also my number 5. Last season only had 1 pick, but besides that, in his career, he's a great man and a great zone corner. Is he a great zone corner? To be honest, I don't even know, bro. Is he?
He's all right.
But besides that, yeah, he wants a lot of money, and he's like in his 30s. We'll see if the Patriots want to pay him, or if they're gonna like move on from him. But he's my number 5.
Um, my number 4 is Xavier Howard of the Miami Dolphins. He led the league in interceptions last year, crazy. But don't get me wrong, interceptions are great to have on the opposite side of the ball. But corners aren't meant to really get interceptions. I mean, yeah, they could, but they're really meant to, lock down an offender,
Hmm.
or break the ball up.
Yeah, my number 4, I got Marlon Humphrey. Like you said, he's a great slot corner, can play the zone fairly well as well. Part of that Baltimore Ravens defense that is I would say pretty solid, above average, even sometimes can be pretty good. Leader of that secondary in Baltimore, he's my number 4.
My number 3, you pretty sure is your number 6, is Tre'Davious White
Yeah.
of the Buffalo Bills. He is really good. He's pretty fast too. Um, you know, really, I wouldn't say corners are meant to play zone anymore. They're really meant to do man-on-man coverage. But that's what Tre'Davious White does. He is really good at it.
My number 3, I got Xavier Howard, the Dolphins. He's my second Dolphins corner to make this top 10. Like you said, he led the league in interceptions last season, which is amazing. But coverage-wise, an amazing player. Just I would say before last season, to be honest, I've never heard of the dude in my life. But I wasn't like the biggest football guy before. I didn't know a lot of guys. But, last season, amazing. And even looking at his career stats, he's just been a very solid, above average corner.
My number 2 is the teammate of the number 1. It is the number 1 receiver, uh, uh, Jair Alexander. Couldn't say his name right there for some reason. Jair Alexander is. I was kind of hard between one of these two dudes, and pretty obvious who my number 1 is right now. But him and my number 1, it was really, really hard, but it just came through who is the best man zone and who, yeah, that's pretty much all it is. But Jair Alexander is my number 2.
And that's the same for me. Alexander is my number 2. Um, it was kind of tough to decide who's 1 and 2, in my opinion. But when it comes down to it, the number 1 guy is amazing. But Alexander is nothing short of great. The best player on that Packers defense by far. In a secondary that's definitely not the strongest secondary in the NFL. He is the cornerstone of the Packers cornerback room, and one of the hardest players to trade for in Madden, by the way. Um, Almost impossible. I don't think he's possible to trade for. But yeah, he's my number 2.
My number 1. Whoa, my number
What?
1 is your number 1, and that is Jalen Ramsey of the Los Angeles Rams. Um, not just say about him that is not obvious. That is, he is the best of this generation. Well, I don't know. He's good of this era right now. He didn't lock down Monte Adams, the number 1 receiver, but he locked down everybody else, and that's really how you had to play the game of football. You had to lock down, everybody really.
Yeah, my number 1 is it's Richard Sherman. No, it's Jalen Ramsey. Like you said, he's so hard to I know this once again from personal experience as I've matched up against Jalen Ramsey before. Off the break, it's just really hard to get past him. He's such a physical defender, and even if you have some of the best footwork in the league and you get off the line quick, it's really hard. I remember this past season, I believe, um, somebody on the Giants, it might have been Golden Tate, I think it was, because like there was a little situation with like Golden Tate and Ramsey and like some women in their lives. But Ramsey absolutely bullied the crap out of Golden Tate, or it might have been Sterling Shepard. One of the Giants receivers, he absolutely bullied the crap out of. And he bullies the crap out of every single receiver that he faces, pretty much week in and week out. Part of the best defense in the league.
You said Richard Sherman at the start. If this was like 2015, maybe it would have been Richard Sherman.
Oh
But
yeah.
no, Jalen Ramsey is honestly one of the best trash talkers in football.
Oh yeah.
But Richard Sherman's probably better.
And then yeah, that's it to wrap up our little NFL mini games. And then the last thing we have to go over, we're recording this on Saturday, and on today,
Later today.
later tonight, we got UFC 264. The headline of this fight is Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor, number 3. This fight decides who wins, the little series between them. McGregor won the first bout. Poirier won the last one. Poirier's 27, 6-0 with 1 no contest. McGregor's 22-5, no ties. Who do you like in this fight?
I'm rooting for Conor McGregor just because of how he is. But honestly, I don't think he could pull it off. I think Dustin Poirier is honestly going to win. He he lost the first match, but he was just starting his career.
Mhm.
And then he got him back with the knockout in the second fight. Conor McGregor um, hasn't fought in a while, so that could really play a big effect in the fight tonight. This video probably uploaded tomorrow. So
I'm gonna try to get it out today before the
yeah,
fight.
maybe. But if not, you'll probably know who wins or not. But I have Dustin Poirier going over Conor McGregor. I wouldn't. It's kind of hard to say either knockout, submission, or by just judge's decision.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say because I don't think either one of them would win by submission.
Nah, they're not those kind of fighters.
I'd say by judge's decision. I'd say that Poirier over judge's decision.
Hopefully, I don't know if we're gonna be able to watch this fight. It really depends on the man on the other side of the screen. But if we are able to watch this fight, I'm very pumped to watch it. Like you said, man, Conor McGregor has been he's been the face of the UFC since like 2013, 2014 or something like that. A crazy long time. The best UFC fighter for a long time as well. But he's been out of the game for a little bit. His last fight he lost, obviously, to Dustin Poirier. And I want McGregor to win. A fellow Conor McGregor. I want him to win this fight. But at the end of the day, I think Dustin Poirier got this. Like you said, his first fight against McGregor was like one of his first few fights in the UFC. He's gained experience, a lot of experience, won a lot of fights against some great names. So I like Poirier to win this fight against McGregor. I'm actually going to take it knockout second round. So the same as the last fight, knockout second round, Poirier over McGregor. Wonder if this will show up on the camera because just look at this guy. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Know the Game. We've pretty much covered everything we got to talk about in today's episode. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching this last episode, listening to it, whatever, sharing the episode, all of that. And thank you so much for listening to this episode of Know the Game from Connor and from Gavin. Appreciate you. And we will see you guys next time.
Peace out, everybody.